上、青森県八戸市の避難所の一つ、小中野中学校からお伝えしました。
Hello, this is 11 Colors. It's now 10:38 p.m. I've been home for about, oh geez, Keio line and Sagamihara line. You know, Kashida line's open. Well, what the heck? It's about 10:39, and I got home about an hour and a half ago after walking home from work when the quake hit, and I don't even remember what time it was. It was before 3, I think. 2:48. I hadn't even had lunch yet. I was thinking about going out for lunch, and there was a bit of a wobble, and which happens sometimes, this being Tokyo, which is no big deal at first. You know, you think there's a bit of a wobble. Ha ha. Lots of fun, bit of a wobble, no big deal. And then it kept going, and got a little stronger. So I said, okay, maybe I should get under the desk, and I got under the desk. And pretty much everyone else in the office was still sitting at their desks. And then it kept going, and it kept going stronger. And I started saying, fuck! And gradually, people around me began to, I don't know if I got under my desk. I mean, part of getting under my desk is just to be safe, and part of it is funny, haha. But slowly everyone else in the office is like, oh shit, this is for real, and they got under their desks, and it went on for a good solid 2 minutes. And we work on, my job is on the 8th floor of a 20-story building, and so quakes that you normally wouldn't feel if you're standing on the ground, you feel them if you're 8 stories up. Like, hey, I also live on the 8th floor of the building where I live. And see, normally if you get a shindoichi on the ground, you don't feel it. But if you're on the 8th floor of a building and there's a shindoichi on the ground, you feel it. So when you get a shindo 5, and shindo, by the way, is the Japanese scale of earthquake shakiness. In the States, generally we have the Richter scale. Oh, I don't even. Whoa, that's a flooded airport. Yeah, I've got Al Jazeera. I've got the Al Jazeera streaming app here, and I've got NHK on Ustream here. And CNN still isn't doing the streaming thing because they're. I actually watch Al Jazeera more lately than CNN because they give streaming video outside the US and CNN does not. But anyways, so two solid minutes of just me screaming. Well, screaming like a girl, I guess, but a few solid minutes of very scary, or yeah, you can hear it in my voice. That's pretty much what it was like. 2 minutes of not knowing what the fuck is going on. I know I'm gonna look back at the tweets and I'm gonna see like the tweet where I first said fuck, and I'm gonna know that's the time when it. Holy shit! That's flooding on. I mean, they're taking that's the NHK feed they're using. They're using footage from NHK, but Japanese government troops deployed to quake-hit areas. That's one difference between the States and Japan. Is in Japan they send troops to hit areas, where Katrina, I don't think that happened right away. Or at least in the States they're not allowed to. Not sure what the deal is. Anyways, 2 solid minutes of not being able to get out from under my desk, and then just like, what? Uh-oh. See, I live on the 8th floor of a building. I live on the 8th floor of my apartment building, and it's still wobbling. I mean, I've shut off the air conditioning, and there's a clock hanging here, and it's still sort of swaying. And it's how many hours later? Like, no, not 10, more like 8 hours later. But anyways, there was a couple minutes of just solid shaking, and then later during an aftershock, when I didn't even get under my desk, when the blinds were up, I could look out the window and I could see 30-story buildings that were swaying. 30-story buildings swaying. Which is not supposed to happen. Things that big are not supposed to move. But, yeah. At first, when we were under our desks and not so sure what the fuck was going on, we were using our cell phones to watch One Seg TV. And we were seeing oil refineries on fire in Chiba, and... but, yeah. Tokyo got off lucky. Only something like 2 or 3 people died in Tokyo, whereas way up north, where you've probably seen footage... Ah, yeah, there it is. I mean, just whole swaths of the countryside being swallowed. And I don't know if you can see any cars on that thing, but you see footage of countryside being swallowed by mud, and cars trying to outrun it, and cars turning and trying to run across fields. But there's just huge swaths of Japan where there's no one left to count the dead, so they don't know how many people are dead yet, because there's no one counting them. I heard something on Al Jazeera about a Shinkansen train missing, but someone else on Twitter told me that their brother-in-law is on a train in Fukushima that's stuck in a tunnel, so maybe it's just that the train is out of contact and they haven't lost the whole train, which is not out of the question at this point, because whole towns have just been wiped off the map. So an entire freaking Shinkansen being sucked out to sea is not out of the question. The gratuitous YouTuber in me wishes I had a camera. Well, I had my cell phone, but I suppose it's some credit to my sanity that I didn't try to start taking video right away. That I just got the fuck under the desk and tried to stay alive. But the worst that happened in the office was, oh yeah, we have a whole bunch of cardboard boxes, empty cardboard boxes in, like, next to our equipment racks that all fell over. And one guy lost a potted plant, and it fell on his desk and covered his keyboard in dirt. And so we all had a little chuckle at that, but mostly I've been okay. Very lucky. Walked home, took a lot of breaks, walking home, spending about an hour camped out in Tully's and Akasaka. Whew. Ran into 3 guys from work about like 7 kilometers from work, like Pasiogi Park, in front of a random convenience store. I saw 3 guys from work who had said they had left work about 2 hours after I did, and we had just met up, which means I'd been really taking it slow going home. Saw one bridal shop around Nogizaka Station, which had a few windows fallen on the sidewalk. What was it? The Prada store, I think it was, in Aoyama near Omotesando, is like all freaking glass windows, and it was spotless. There was nothing broken, which was a little amazing to see. So Tokyo got a heavy wobbling, but not a whole lot is broken. The train shut down, which is why I had to walk home. But and there's people in Shinjuku and around major stations that Giant Bernard, the A Train, Albert from WWF, he's in Shibuya right now. I used to watch him on WWF, and I've seen him at the gym, and I follow him on Twitter. And I know he got out of the gym, and I walked by that gym like right on the way home, and there was a handwritten sign in front of the elevator saying, "Nope, we're closed for business. Fuck this shit." But there's a lot of people out there who need help with a place to stay, and even if it's just for the night, since JR just said, "Fuck it, we're not running trains tonight." And looks like I got about 30 seconds. Oh wait, the limit's 15 minutes now, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I'm just babbling, but I generally try to keep things under 10 minutes anyways. So I'm going to upload this and go for a bit of a walk, I suppose, because I need to get the fuck out of this building. Excuse me. By the way, yeah, if you're on Twitter, well shit, will you even see this? Oh my god. At least, oh my god. At least 200 bodies found. And that's just the bodies they found so far, and it's still night, and it's still dark. That's nothing about the bodies that they'll never find. I had no idea how they're going to count the dead, because there's just no one left to count them. Alright. This has been 11 Colors, and my apartment is still wobbling. And, yeah, mostly it's just nerves. I'm alive. I'm fine. But, anyways, thank you for watching.